Well, that was a football game last night. Wow. Just like I said, a complete dog fight between the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Purdue Boilermakers to kick off the season. College football is back, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. What a game, what a game. The final score, the Penn State Nittany Lions 35 and the Purdue Boilermakers 31. 4-point difference, so Purdue did not cover the 3.5. Penn State did get the win, but what are you going to do? It was an exciting game. This game was over 4 hours long, by the way. Holy shit, this was a long one. Didn't quite ending until about midnight, so hell, over midnight. So we're gonna break this down. I got the official media score sheet, box score, I guess you could call this, the stat sheet that they give the media. It's the internet. You can find these things, so don't go telling on me that I have an official media scorecard here, all right? So I got a lot of notes. We're going to break this down because, oh boy, a lot happened. So let's just start it off. Penn State gets the win, 35-31. Early on, Purdue led by 3 after the first quarter. Penn State dropped 21 in the second quarter. So 3 touchdowns. Purdue got a touchdown of their own, so it was 21-10 at the half. Third quarter, all Boilermakers. 14 straight for the Purdue Boilermakers in the third quarter. So they had the advantage. And then 14 points for Penn State in the fourth quarter, 7 for Purdue to close it out. It was a back-and-forth game. You could say, yeah, Penn State had the lead going into the half, leading by 11. Excuse me. That's better. Purdue had the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, it was back and forth. 7 different lead changes this game. 7. That's insane. We did hit the over. The over was, I think, 54.5. Definitely hit that. I had the under personally. I was not expecting a high-scoring affair, but like I said in my preview, it was a dogfight. This was a Big Ten battle right here. Total yards, Penn State 406, Purdue 426. Passing yards, Purdue 356, Penn State 308. Rushing yards, 98 for Penn State, 70 for Purdue. 9 penalties for Purdue, 5 for Penn State. The penalties last night were really interesting. There was a lot of tugging and pulling. We had the targeting penalty, which was complete bullshit, in my opinion. What the hell is targeting anymore? Like, really, like, I always thought it was the crown of the helmet. So, picture this Penn State hat as the helmet. The crown up here, I always thought if you let in with that, that was targeting. That's been what I thought it would. No, apparently now it's any part of the helmet based off last night because he leaned like over here. And they called that target, I guess because he leaned in. I think it was bullshit personally, but can't fight about it, obviously, now that the game is over. But I thought it was weak, personally. So, but the penalties themselves, a lot of tugging, a lot of pulling, passes interferences that players got lucky with. I'll admit on both sides, especially Penn State's side, they had a lot of calls go their way last night, and yet they still only won by 4 points, which we'll get to. And then the Purdue stuff, yeah, I mean, it was a really weird officiated game. A lot of tugging, a lot of pulling, and some plays got called and some didn't, so what are you going to do? First downs, pretty even. 25 for Purdue, 24 for Penn State. Third downs, Purdue went 5 for 15. Penn State went 5 for 14, so even there. Fourth downs, Purdue went 2 for 2. Penn State went 1 for 1. Total plays, 81 for Purdue, 73 for Penn State. I'm not going to go through all these. 4 for 4. Both teams went perfect in the red zone. 4 for 4 and 3 for 3. Purdue had the 4, Penn State the 3. Time possession is about even, 28-13 for Purdue, 25-52 for Penn State. Both teams got points off turnovers, obviously, because we had the pick 6, and Penn State got a fumble. Fumbles, yep, there was one that led to the Penn State turnover. Sacks, Penn State had 2, which for 17 yards. So, and 1 for, 2 for Penn State, 1 for Purdue. So, not a lot of QB rushes. Not a lot of pass pressure in this game for both teams. They had ample amounts of time, and we'll get into that for Penn State specifically. And I just want to say, Aaron O'Connell for Purdue, a hell of a quarterback. I watched James Franklin's post-game press conference this morning when I woke up, and he had nothing but praise for O'Connell, who went 29 for 58, 356, a touchdown, and a QB rating of 107.2. So, good on him. He did his job. Sean Clifford. Oh, boy, Sean Clifford. 20 of 37, 282, 4 touchdowns to 1 interception, a QB rating of 148. James Franklin did mention that Clifford had cramps going into halftime. He took a bad hit on a... not really a bad hit, but on the replay, he took a hit, and it was his left leg, I think, with the knee brace on, and you could just tell it didn't look right. So he didn't start the second half. Drew Allaire came in. And, sorry, blanking for a second. James Franklin said he needed an IV, just for the cramps, so. And they had Allaire warming up on the sidelines throughout the third and fourth quarter because he just kept feeling those cramps on Clifford, so. Should we have gotten more Drew Allaire? Maybe, but they kept Clifford in, and we'll get to it. Oh boy, that last drive he had. What else here? A little more, stat comparisons. Trying to think here. Red zone attempts, yep, we went over that. Third downs, fourth downs, yep, the penalties, possession times. Okay, let's go over some defensive stats while I have it on my sheet here. 62 tackles for Purdue, 51 for Penn State. Tackles for loss, both teams had 3. Yeah, QB hurries, 0 for both teams. So, both teams struggled to get to the quarterback. And, like I said, 2 sacks for Penn State, 1 for Purdue. Penn State had the first fumble, but Purdue had the interception that went for a touchdown. Figures. And, only 1 field goal. And that was for Purdue last night. So, let us now move on to the Penn State. I am a Penn State fan, so I'm going to be more focusing on the Penn State side of the story, but Purdue played a hell of a ball game. Like, that was a great game, but Purdue had that game won, and we're going to get to it later on, after the interception that went for the pick 6 in the fourth quarter. Purdue's play calling got weird, and they had a chance to put the nail in the coffin, for say, and just couldn't do it. So, we're going to get to that. But first, I just want to go over some Penn State stuff here. I mentioned Clifford, the game he had. Drew Allaire, when he came in, 2 for 4, 26 yards. He is going to be a good football player. You could tell there's something in the making with him. I did tweet out a couple things last night, which he will learn, because, again, true freshman, was not expecting to play at all last night, was forced to come in for a drive. He went 2 for 4. He threw the ball good, 26 passing yards. But there were a couple times where he could have ran it for a first down. Like, he had time to move around, but he stayed in the pocket. He will learn from that. When he looks at film, he will obviously see his mistakes. But for coming in for the drive he did all right. So, can't complain. The rushing game. This was the key I brought up yesterday. If Penn State wanted to win, they had to move the ball efficiently on the ground. And while it was not major effectively, but I think there's something here that we can look forward to. Now, it wasn't perfect. I'm not going to say, oh, they can now run the ball smoothly and efficiently. No. The running plays that they did, it wasn't downhill running. And what that means is the QB was not right under the center and then gave it off. No, it was QBs in the pocket and then just handing it off. Not just, okay, we're going to do a designed run play. It's all designed run plays, but it wasn't really effectively going through the ground. And I think they need to improve on that, personally, to get the run game really going. But looking at it, Kayvon Lee, 30 yards. Allen had 31. Nick Singleton, by the way, who's going to be a freak moving forward, 22 yards, 9 attempts. Clifford ran the ball a couple times. He got the QB sneak, and Parker Washington even had a designed run play for him. So, again, not bad, not perfect. There's still a lot of improvements. The offensive line is still not too confident in it, but what are you going to do? No field goals to speak of. The defense. All right, let's get into this defense now. First of all, defensive player of the game has to go to Joey Porter Jr. A lot of people, mixed reactions about Joey Porter Jr. Personally, I like him. I think he can be something. But he showed up big in this game. And again, I'll get to it when I get to Purdue's last couple drives of the game. Yeah, he had the pass interference call. It happens. But for the most part, I think he played a good game. I can't complain. He did a good job and showed up late, stopped Purdue's best wide receiver because they kept throwing towards him. I don't get why you're throwing towards our best cornerback, but I wasn't the one calling the game, so what are you going to do? So Joey Porter Jr. did a great job. We obviously lost, what's his name? Should have wrote it down. We lost one of our linebackers for the targeting call. What are you going to do? But yeah, I think the defense did okay. Gave up a lot of yards in the passing game, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. But like I said, O'Connell for Purdue is a hell of a quarterback. And boy, did he take advantage of that. But I'll tell you what, man. Late in that fourth quarter, boy, that Penn State defense really showed up. They stopped Purdue hard again. But I also think, again, it was that Purdue play calling, which we will get over in a little bit. The scoring summary, we had the touchdown in the second quarter to make it 7-3. The Sean Clifford QB sneak with 1:44 left in the second quarter. That gave us the 14-10 lead. And then with 2 seconds left in the second, right in the first half, to really put the dagger in him, Brenton Strange, boy, the big man was running hard, and he beat the clock. A lack of tackling by Purdue. I will admit, when all guys got open, Purdue couldn't tackle. We were getting big plays for a lack of tackling from the Purdue defense. Once we got out in space, which was a bit of a struggle, because for the most of the game, all guys couldn't really catch the ball. But once we get out there, Purdue couldn't really tackle us. And we got a big touchdown from Strange to end the first half. Touchdown again, Clifford to Lambert Smith to make it 28-24. And then the touchdown to end the game with 57 seconds left. So, interesting. What else here? The drive chart. So, looking at this drive chart, Penn State started punting the ball twice on the first. The first drive was absolutely garbage. 3 and out, less than a minute into the ball game. I was like, okay, good start there, boys. Ugh. Second drive was a punt. The drive that got us our first touchdown of the game started at the end of the first quarter. They drove the ball down very efficiently. Second quarter, again, we just dominated off that fumble. That was huge in the second quarter because Purdue was driving. Our defense finally showed up. Got a touchdown and ended the first half. Third quarter was rough. We got the touchdown and then the pick six afterwards. And then 2 punts and then the TD. Purdue punted their first drive, got the field goal, the touchdown, punted. That was the fumble near the end of the second half that gave us the touchdown. Then they came out to start the third quarter with a touchdown of their own, punted, touchdown, punt, to end the game. And then the interception they got for the pick six. And then afterwards, they couldn't really do much. So, 14 drives to Penn State's Purdue's 13. Both teams got points off the turnovers. And then 4 3-and-outs for Purdue and 3 for Penn State. So, now let's get into this fourth quarter. And looking at the drive sheet, this was really, really strange of Purdue. So, I'm going to take it right after the pick six that Sean Clifford threw, which was just horrendous. Like, I have no idea where the hell he was going. So, it is right now, what would it be right now? It would be, does it tell me the score? I think it would be, why does it not tell me the score? Having the score would help. It was right after the Purdue pick six. Yeah, okay, so we'll just take it from there. So Penn State gets the ball back after the pick six. Clifford got a pass completion for 11 yards. Tried to get the run game going, couldn't. Another small pass, and then an incomplete intended pass. So, ball goes back to Purdue immediately after the pick six. And I'm just like, oh boy, they're going to collapse. It's over. So, Purdue gets the ball with 6:27 to go. They have the lead at this point. And what do? Passing play. Passing play. Passing play. Passing play. 4 straight passes in a row. 5 straight passes in a row. 6, 7, 8. 8 straight passing plays. Granted, they got a couple yards from a couple of them, but why are you passing the ball? You want to run down the clock. So, 8 straight passing plays on that drive. Didn't even run the ball once, and they're forced to punt. Penn State gets the ball back. 4:50 to go. Clifford can't do a damn thing, and I'm just getting pissed off at this point. I was getting pissed. A 3-and-out. Couldn't do anything with it. So the ball goes back to Purdue. 4:28 to go now. 9 straight passing plays. 10 straight passing plays. 11 straight passing plays. Finally run the ball, but it goes for 4 yards. 12 passing plays out of 13. Then they finally call a timeout with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go when they have the lead. And it was 3rd and 6 on the Purdue 45. So, 12 out of the 13 plays since they got the ball after the interception, they threw it. Why are you throwing it? You want to run the ball. You want to kill the clock. Why? I don't get that play calling one bit. And Penn State got super lucky due to the lack of play calling. Purdue could have ended the game. They had the game won. They could have. Sean Clifford was playing like shit. Couldn't get anything going. Yet Purdue is just throwing the ball. I'm glad Penn State won this game. I did. But they didn't deserve it. I don't think they deserve it. They shouldn't have won. I don't know why Purdue got away from what they were doing best. Just to pass the ball, and we'll keep going. So, after the timeout, 3rd and 6, they throw the ball again. That's now 13 of 14 of the previous plays were passing plays, and they're forced to punt, and they're 2:22 to go. And this is where Sean Clifford just turned into, he got that dog in him, if you know what I mean. So Penn State starting at their own 20, 2:22 to go. We're going to go through this. 1st and 10. Clifford gets an 8-yard pass to Tinsley up to the 27. The 28, mind you. I'm sorry. 2nd and 2 at the Penn State 28. Clifford incomplete for Tinsley. So now it's 3rd and 2. They get a 7-yard completion play off the pass. Now it's 1st down at the 35. A Penn State rush for 8 yards. Now it's going to be 2nd and 2. A 27-yard pass to the Penn State. Right, they got a big 1st down there after the run. So now they're up to the Purdue 30. Clifford again with the pass. 5 yards up to the 25. Got a 15-yard passing play then to go to the Purdue 10, and then with a little over a minute to go. And they used no timeouts during this time. No timeouts. They got the touchdown pass off the fade. It was literally a fade pass. I don't know how Purdue fell for that, but Penn State gets the touchdown. And that gives them the lead. So now it's 34-31. 57 seconds to go. They kick the ball back to Purdue. It's going to be 53 seconds to go at the Purdue 19. I said no celebrating yet. No celebrating. So again, 13 of the 14 previous plays for Purdue have been throwing the ball. Now they have to throw the ball, mind you, because now it's a minute to go and you need it. Throws the ball again. Incomplete pass. A 12-yard pass. So they get a first down. That's 15 of 16 now throwing the ball. Then he got sacked. One of the 2 sacks for this game. The Penn State defense coming up late. Got a huge sack there, and Purdue is forced to take the second timeout with 35 seconds to go. Now it's going to be 2nd and 20 from the Purdue 21. Pass up the middle for 15 yards. An incomplete pass makes it 35. 4th and 5, they get the first down. And then after that pass for 15 yards with 35 seconds left, they didn't call a timeout. Why? I know you have 1 timeout left, but you gotta stop the clock. And they did a terrible job with time management. From 35 seconds left, they didn't get a stoppage of play until 7 seconds left. And they're only at the 42 of their own side. So you had 2 plays at most, which they did get it off. And they were both incomplete passes. So in total, 21 of the past 22 plays for Purdue to end the game ever since they got the pick 6. With, hang on. Got too many sheets here. So from 6:26 left, from the 4th quarter to the end of the game, Purdue had 22 plays that they did. 21 of them was passing the ball. That's what lost the game for the Boilermakers. Right there. And I was listening to Joel Klatt's recap video. Which, by the way, him and Gus Johnson did an amazing job calling the game last night, as they always do. And I will link that video in the description of this one. And I agree with what he said. He said, look, Penn State fans, we got the win, but it's not perfect. What are you going to do? Not all of them are going to be perfect, but we really got lucky. We had a lucky win last night. If Purdue would have stuck to the ground game and then attack attack the defense with the passing game, which they were doing all night, they should have won. But what Penn State did was they adjusted. They brought more guys in. They got more pressure on the QB, and he kept missing passes. So that's pretty much it. The final score, once again, Penn State 35, Purdue 31. Was it 35-31? That's what it's showing. Yeah, 35-31. Yeah, okay. That's weird. So yeah, that's about gonna do it. Penn State, huge win. Huge road win to kick off the year. 2nd year in a row where they played on the road to kick off the season against a Big Ten opponent. Got the win. Nothing but respect for Purdue. It was a hell of a ball game, but I don't know. This win just feels weird. Like, we won, but I don't think we deserved it. But, win's a win. We start off 1-0 to start the year. Next week, we welcome the Ohio Bobcats to Beaver Stadium to kick off the year before the big rematch with Auburn down at Jordan-Hare. So we get our warm-up game, I guess you could call it, against Ohio. Hopefully it goes smoothly, and I would like to see more Drew Allaire That would be nice. James Franklin brought it up that he should see more playing time, which is always good to see. So we'll just have to wait and see then for next week. That's going to do it. Thank you for watching this little recap video of Penn State and Purdue. I'm hoping to do these every week. I'm hoping. It's going to get a little tougher when football, the NFL kicks in, because games will be, Penn State always plays on Saturday. We've never been to school to play middle of the week. So it's going to be a little tough to get more videos out recapping, but I will do my best. So thank you all for watching, of course. I appreciate it, and I guess I will see you all for the next one. We are